Okay, so now let's move on to fiscal policy and what it is. So fiscal policy really, government, I guess, government tools, government spending really only has, they only have two tools in their tool belt. Number one is government spending, which is G. And if you look at our AD equation here, G will directly affect AD. So if government increases their spending, air demand shifts to the right. And if government decreases their spending, then air demand shifts to the left. So I think this is pretty obvious. The other tool the federal government has to influence spending is by changing tax rates. So changing tax rates, remember there are many types of taxes. Taxes can affect consumers, they can affect businesses, they can affect our net exports. So tax rates are very broad. So like I said, there's income tax, there's municipal taxes, property tax. So it's not just one universal tax. So that is the other tool in their tool belt. So how does the government close or correct for a recessionary gap? So you can see here that the interaction of our short-run supply curve and our AD determines our output at Y0. And at Y0, the economy is experiencing a recessionary gap because Y0 is less than Y star. So in order to close our recessionary gap and move the economy back to Y star, the government can do one of two things. The government can either increase government spending, putting people back to work, getting some kind of income, creating some kind of income flow, and or lower tax rates, which will then increase C, I, and net exports, depending on where those taxes are targeted. And that is how the government, through its fiscal policy, can move the economy back to Y star. How the government can close a recessionary gap is they can do exactly the opposite. So if you look at our inflationary gap here, our short-run supply curve, which intersects our air demand curve, is to the right of Y star. So Y0 is greater than Y star. So we are experiencing an inflationary gap. So what the government can do is do the opposite. They can either decrease government spending and or raise taxes, which will then curb spending and reduce aggregate demand.